This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Welcome to Covered in Pet Hair, a bluesy show for pet lovers on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Isabelle Alvarez, and today I have the pleasure of having a drink and a chat with a pet industry mom that's trying to make it all happen. I will tell you all about her and introduce you as soon as we come back from these messages from our sponsors. Welcome back to Covered in Pet Hair. I'm your host, Isabelle Alvarez, and today I have the pleasure of having a drink and a chat with a pet parent, a dog walker, an entrepreneur. She's an adventure seeker, a road tripper, and a cocktail connoisseur. She loves books, photography, theater, and music. She's originally from Rome, Georgia. She currently lives in San Marcos, Texas. She's wife to John, mom to daughters by the names of Juliana and Charlotte, whose names I think are beautiful. Dogma to Gypsy and Pepper, and Catma to Tigger. She's a perpetual seeker of work-life balance, as are all working moms. She's the founder and chief pet sitter of Paws Professional Pet Services. Her name is Stephanie Nelson. Welcome, Stephanie. It's so good to have you on the show.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Stephanie. It's so good to finally put a face to the name. We have been friends on social media for so long, and our kids are about the same age. How old are Juliana and Charlotte?
Juliana is 7 and Charlotte is almost 2. She'll be 2 in about a month.
Oh, there you go. So our second babies are about the same age. My Mila will turn as well. And Noah's not quite 7.
Oh, that's great.
He thinks he is, but he's not. All right. So before we go any further, I want to introduce our drinking game today. Anybody participating in our drinking game, anytime you hear this word, make sure you take a drink of whatever you're enjoying. But please be sure you're over 21 to partake in the United States. Never drink and drive, and always drink responsibly. So what are you having this morning, Stephanie?
I am having a non-alcoholic Bloody Mary since it's a morning thing and I have stuff to do after, but also Bloody Marys are good for brunch, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. I just saw Tigger in the background, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's on the bed.
I see him. I love a cat cameo. Well, I'm actually having the same because I do need to get stuff done and pick up the kids from school at some point today. So I'm just having a mocha latte today that I made with my Nespresso and a little bit of hot chocolate mix. So cheers to you. Thanks for being on the show.
Cheers. Thank you.
It's my absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Actually, I like to introduce my show with a game that kind of introduces the topic at hand. And today we're playing the Doggy Grind, which is a quick fire challenge. And I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions about your doggy daycare. And I want you to just quickly give me an answer. It doesn't have to be super accurate, kind of an average. Just throw a number out there or throw a thought out there. Are you ready to play?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, here we go. The first one. How many pee accidents does your team clean up daily at your doggy daycare?
At least 10.
At least 10. Okay. How many poo accidents?
2 or 3.
All right. How many stolen treats?
Oh, that's probably 4 or 5 a day.
How many love connections a day?
Oh, uncountable. I can't even count.
Oh, that's so cute. I love it. So like dogs come in and meet their best friends like every day?
Yeah. They're all so happy most of the time. Every now and then there's a, grumpy day, but for the most part, everybody seems to get along. So
awesome. Okay. How long does the average dog nap during the day, if at all?
They nap, like they'll play about an hour or 2 and then nap for an hour. So 3 or 4 hours of napping.
Nice. Do they all nap at the same time, like in daycare, like in a real daycare?
Yeah, generally.
What time do most dogs arrive, actually? I wanted to know about that.
Usually they arrive between 7 and 8:30, but there are a couple that get there between 9 and 10, and 10 is our latest drop off.
Okay. How about when they leave? What's about the average time to head home?
Between 4:30 and 6. we do have a couple guys that stay till closing.
Okay. All right. And what time is closing?
At 7.
7. Okay. Ooh, that's a long day for you
PM.
guys. All right. How busy is like check-in and check-out, or is it kind of staggered?
It's kind of staggered. We usually have one right after the other. Occasionally we'll have a couple show up at the same time.
All right. And the biggest question I think most pet parents have when they send their dog to daycare is how many fights break out about on a regular basis?
Maybe one a month, but it's not very bad. It's like, that's my ball or something, and we break it up pretty quickly. We did actually have one 2 days ago, and it really wasn't bad. It's another dog didn't like the way this one dog was barking and kind of jumped on her, and we broke it up.
Oh my goodness. So you had a doggy daycare in your home before you opened a facility back in August of 2021. So tell me, what is it like to have a doggy daycare in your own home?
It's a little hectic, a little chaotic. We have a small house, so we had a limited number of dogs, and we tried to keep it low, but it started to grow, and every day we had almost our max. So that's why we decided to expand. But yeah, it's lots of dog hair, lots of dust, lots of barking, but we love it. So
that is so awesome. I don't know that I could do it. I don't know that I could share my space with like a bunch of dogs. That's like a lot to ask. I'm so happy you were able to open a facility. So how did you choose your current facility?
Well, I was actually pretty much the only one we could find that would let us have dogs. I looked all over town, and most people were like, no, I don't want to bother the other tenants, or I don't want dogs in the building, things like that. But this person was like, sure.
Yeah, it's an old house, right? Tell me about it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just an old house kind of in the middle of town. It's on a busy road, so most of the other houses that are there have been turned into businesses as well.
Right.
So this person bought it and turned it into a commercial thing, and so we basically just had them do the bare minimum, paint, fix the floors up and everything, and then we just went in and made it our space.
What kind of floors are
flexible.
Best for a doggy daycare? Is it like concrete floors?
Yeah, concrete is what we have.
Okay, very cool.
Otherwise, the smell would get to you.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of flooring that can stand up to that many dogs all day, every day.
Yeah.
Do you miss having it in your home, or are you happy you have the facility?
I'm happy I have the facility. It was getting to be a little much because we used to have a smaller amount most of the time, and then it was like at our max every day, so it was getting kind of hard.
And you now have employees helping you. Did you have employees helping you when you had it at your house, or was it you mostly?
It was me and my husband, and we also do pet sitting. So the employees mostly did pet sitting while we did everything at our house. So we do have one person. We do have one person that helps at our facility, and me and my husband as well, and another person that helps with pet sitting.
Yeah, you are a busy lady. Because I've worked in the industry, I know that pet sitting is 24/7, right? So pet sitting is morning, midday, overnight, bedtime, all of that. And then you have a facility that opens at 7 a.m. and closes at 7 p.m.?
Yes. Yeah. So I manage that mostly. My husband manages the pet sitting along with the other employee. And then he comes in throughout the day to help at the facility when he's got breaks and stuff. And then we have another employee at the facility. So it is a balancing act.
Do Juliana and Charlotte spend any time at the facility? Do they help you with the pets?
Oh yeah. Juliana's in school, but Charlotte comes up there. She's got her own little space with her toys and a nap area. But yeah, she comes out and helps me with the dogs sometimes. But for the most part, she's in her little area, staying safe.
Right. Absolutely. I totally understand. Yeah. I love that you've grown and that you're expanding, but I guarantee it that it's not an easy thing to do while being a parent. So I want to talk about that a little bit more, but we need to take a break right now. Let's hear from our sponsors and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Covered in Pet Hair. I'm your host, Isabelle Alvarez, and today I'm speaking to Stephanie Nelson, who runs a pet sitting service and a doggy daycare, and used to have a doggy daycare in her home, but grew so much she had to get a facility. But she also has 2 young children, and she has 2 dogs, and she has a cat, and she has a full plate. So I want to talk to her about working mom, running businesses, trying to do it all. And I want to play a second game, and this is actually a drinking game. And we're not drinking alcohol today, but we can still play a drinking game with our coffee and with your Virgin Bloody Mary. This game is called Never Have I Ever Working Mom Edition. We both of us will play, and we will both drink when it applies to us. Are you ready to play? Yes. Awesome. It's okay, Gypsy. It's okay. Gypsy wants to play too. All right. First one. So you drink if you have ever experienced this. That's how we'll know that you are guilty or that it's happened to you or that you share the pain of this situation. All right. Never have I ever had to mute a call to ask my child to lower their voice while talking to a client or staff member. I remember trying to interview a new staff member and Noah losing his mind and me having to mute and like yell at him, quiet, and then come back while the guy was like telling me about his background. So yeah, not easy.
It's like
exactly with hand signals and like pointing and like angry face, right? All right, next one. Never have I ever forgotten to respond to an email due to a child-related interruption. She's drinking. Every single mom listening to this is drinking on that one. Never have I ever thought that work felt like a vacation compared to motherhood. Sometimes when the kids get really, really needy and really, really like out of sorts, like going to a 9 to 5 sounds like a nice little break, doesn't it?
Sometimes, yeah. I do sometimes take a break and go do some pet sitting so I can just have like a few hours to myself.
Yes. Peace and quiet in the car. A nice walk with a dog. Like that sounds like such a nice little break from the chaos that children bring sometimes, especially at the ages that we have. Like, is your 7-year-old getting a little more like mature and easygoing?
She is, but she loves being with us. So she wants to be near us most of the time. So sometimes it can be a little much.
Yes. My oldest is like that too. Mila's 2, almost 2. So I can't really tell if that's like just because she's a baby or if that's her personality. But yeah, Noah's very like clingy. The other day I dropped him off at school and he had been home for 4 days between a holiday and like a COVID closure. And he was like, I'm not getting out. And I'm like, no, you have to get out. I have a million things to do. Get out.
I need my time. How old is he now?
He's 4.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, go. Get
age.
out. All right. Next one. Never have I ever skipped multiple showers because I ran out of time in the day for multiple days. If you are managing to shower daily with all that you have on your plate, I salute you. Because
I've been doing it pretty good for the past month or 2.
Wow. Because I mean, seriously, sometimes I'm like, do I shower or do I do this important thing? Right. And so most of the time it's like, I'll shower tomorrow. So it sounds like you and your
or
husband
if I have a break.
It sounds like you and your husband have a really good like routine where you guys really like help each other out and work together.
Yeah, he's great. He's so supportive, and we're a good team, and we work everything out. And if he needs a break from pet sitting, he'll come to the facility, and vice versa, and things like that. So
yeah, awesome. That's awesome. All right, next one. Never have I ever had my child make me look bad in front of a coworker or a colleague. Yeah.
I have a story about that, but I don't know if it.
Yes, please. I want to hear the story.
I used to take her with me everywhere, my oldest daughter, and I brought her to a meet and greet, and she needed a nap, and I didn't realize it, and she started being goofy and running all over the place, and it did not look professional.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine. So my kid, Noah, when I still had the WAG pack in Northern Virginia and I was living here in El Paso, I would go like 3 times a year for an extended period of time, get an Airbnb and kind of like work from the office so that I could have FaceTime with my team and all that. And Noah, like, my business partner had just had a baby and she was like a year younger than Noah. And he's like, we had an employee, like a staff breakfast, and Noah's like fighting with Evie the whole time in front of my team. And I, of course, look like I can't manage a 2-year-old. He wasn't quite 2 yet, but he was close enough. And I just, I'm managing this business, but I can't get my 2-year-old together. And it was kind of embarrassing.
Kids are tough, but
yeah, there's never like, that's the hardest part for me about motherhood is that it's not as predictable as other parts of my life. And I kind of need and thrive on predictability. All right, here we go. Never have I ever had to call out of work when I was perfectly healthy simply because my offspring caught the latest seasonal bug. That is so hard because you're so frustrated that you're like, I'm perfectly healthy. I could perfectly go to school, but my kid is sick. I could perfectly go to work, but my kid can't go to school because he's sick. And now I'm stuck here. And it's so hard because for people like you and I who like enjoy our work and want to do a good job, it's hard to kind of have to take that step back, right?
Yeah, exactly. And before I owned my own business, she was a baby and I had to call, I would work from home if she got sick too. So it was like really, it was a balancing act then too.
Well, yeah. And a lot of people, because I worked from home when Noah was born way before the pandemic. And a lot of people during the pandemic figured out that working from home with kids is not easy.
No, I thought it would be easy before I had kids, but it isn't. I learned very quickly.
Yes. So my husband, was, obviously always in the office. He's military. He's always on base whenever he's working or he's traveling. He travels a ton. Yeah. But during the pandemic, we had a newborn and, a very feisty, very jealous, very extra, almost 3-year-old. And he was like, I can't get anything done. He's on meetings. They're crying in the background. Like, it was so much. And I was like, I've been doing this for years, buddy. Like, yes, it's hard. It sucks.
Yeah.
And they interrupt me constantly.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Never have I ever been so overwhelmed and overstimulated that I walked away from work and sat on the couch exhausted and defeated by everything that was coming at me all at the same time. That's like my everyday. That's literally every day. At some point in the evening, I'm just like, I'm pooped. I give up. I wave my white flag and I say enough.
Yeah. Yeah. My evenings generally consist of sitting on the couch and just letting it all fade off. Exactly.
So what is the hardest part? If you had to name one thing, what is the hardest part about running this type of business? Because this is not a 9-to-5. I want our viewers to know that it is not a 9-to-5. What is the hardest part about making it work and being a parent?
Mostly just finding extra time to be with them without it being at work. So that's why we have some employees now. He can close up while I go home and have some time with my kids, and he cover the weekends while I have some time with my kids. So that's been the most difficult part, because when it was in our house, we were here all the time, so it's been a little bit of a rough transition trying to figure that out and keep employees lately that will stay around long enough so that I don't have to keep working so much. So
yes, hiring right now is super hard. I do not envy you. I know everybody in the pet industry is having a hard time finding really reliable, really dedicated staff, because everybody is kind of like at a standstill where it's like they want to make more wages, and they should make more wages from these huge corporations, but small businesses just don't have that power to pay more or pay or give benefits. Power.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's a tough place to be right now.
It's tough. It's hard to compete.
Yes.
It's hard to compete.
It's hard to compete as a small business. Yes, absolutely. I totally hear that. So think about this. What one thing would make your life easier? If you could just like, you have a genie in a bottle, you get one wish, what would make it easier for you to find that work-life balance that you're after?
Just steady, reliable employees that can stick around for a while. That would be the biggest help.
Yes, I totally hear that. I'm going to put my good vibes out there for hiring vibes out there for you. Cause for real, it is a tough environment out there. And actually I was thinking about this question for me, and I don't run a business anymore, and I don't miss hiring staff. Right. I don't, because I don't envy you. I completely understand and empathize with you. But for me, my husband travels so much that I crave a routine, and I want him to stop traveling so much. That would be like my wish, is to just keep him here. Because every time he's here, we kind of want to enjoy him. So we fall off like our routine. And then when he leaves, we get back on our routine, because I know we all thrive on it. And it's like like the kids are different when he's gone, and then he comes back and we're all happy. And then he leaves again. And it's just a lot. Like he comes back this Sunday and he leaves next Saturday again. Like it's not enough time for us to get back into
no.
So yeah, stop traveling so much, Chris. All right. Next one. The last question I really have for you is, and I really want you to think about this as like an advice. If somebody came to you and said, I want to start my own pet care business, I want to have a family as well. Either I have a family or I want to have a family at some point. What advice would you give them?
Start it before you have a family so that you can have some time to get your processes worked out and get everything planned out. And then you can build it and build the kids into it. I built it around the family, and I've had to work and figure things out as we've grown and things like that. So that's been kind of a challenge.
I totally agree with that. I did. When I started my business in 2008, I knew I wanted to be a mom down the line. I wasn't ready then, but I wanted to be a mom down the line. So I always kind of thought, like, is this sustainable? How can I work remotely? Like I was using Zoom and Skype and stuff for training long before the pandemic. I was trying to, like you said, like kind of like build my business so that I can add my children or my responsibilities to it, rather than kind of like reframe everything once the babies came. So yeah, I totally agree with you. And if you are a successful business and are looking to start a family, then yes, make sure that you talk to a mom in the industry. Who can tell you if what you're doing is going to actually work in real life, right?
Yeah, I am grateful that like we have gotten to a point where got employees, and now my husband works with us, because it helps. I don't have to take the kids with me as much, and it works out a lot better. But in the beginning, it was stressful.
Yes.
But it was the reason I did it. I wanted to be with her, so with my kids. So
yes. Oh my gosh, it's the dream. It's the dream of having your own business so that you can call the shots and have your own schedule, so that when your kids need you, you can be there. But at the same time, it's a nightmare because you're being pulled in so many directions.
Yeah, it can be sometimes.
Yeah. All right.
But I love it. I love both of them.
Yes, exactly. You're dedicated to both outcomes. You're dedicated to being an awesome mom, which you are, and an awesome business owner, which you are. So tell us, how can our audience learn more about your business if they're in the area that you service?
They can visit our website at onpawspetservices.com. We also have a Facebook page, on Paws Professional Pet Services, on Facebook, on Instagram under the same name, and just Google us as well. We have a Google listing with all that information.
And what areas, is it San Marcos that you service, or are there other areas as well?
Primarily San Marcos, but we also service Kyle, which is just north of San Marcos.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I just want to propose a toast to you,
of course,
your family, your business.
Okay.
May you all be super successful in 2022. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. I also want to propose a toast to our executive producer, Mark Winter, and to our audience. Thank you for spending your time with us. Here's to a life covered in pet hair, because there's no better way to live. Cheers. To learn more about Covered in Pet Hair, please visit coveredinpethair.com or petliferadio.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.